What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and today I am bringing you an update to Heroes. Now technically you can't really call it Evil Heroes, Masked Heroes, Vision Heroes, Destiny Heroes, or even Evil Heroes nowadays because it involves every single one of them. So this is an updated hero deck. We did only get one brand new card in the form of Alliance Insight, and that is a brand new Evil Hero card once I get to it under the stack of Evil Hero monsters in the form of the Vicious Claw. We do also know that we're going to get an even more brand new hero cards, which does allow you to start utilizing stuff like Contrast Heroes. So that's definitely a card I advise you go and make sure you've got at least one copy of. Whether that becomes a mainstay staple in the upcoming stuff once we get all of the new support remains to be seen. But right now on eBay, they were like £1 a copy. So I just picked myself up 3 of them just to be done with it and have them. So with all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. I'm going to take you through the entire profile and a demo side deck so you have an idea of this particular build and the route that I'm looking to take it, so you can kind of work with it in your own way and put together heroes in order to go either blind second or just go first in the grind. So starting off with our Elemental Hero cards, we are playing 3 Elemental Hero Stratos. Now this is a 50 card deck. I know, absolutely wild, but when you're adding so many different hero cards at this moment in time, none of the hero cards are really replacing themselves. They're all just becoming additional cards you're going to want to run. Especially when you're already playing the Evil Heroes, a lot of those cards you want to search later on in your combos, and you don't really want to be starting with them. That's why you want to max out on Stratos, as this is your ideal go-to. You want this to be one of your first summons, whether that be off of itself or off, of course, a hero lives. That's going to allow you to get you more direct access to a card like Stratos and just keep searching, searching, and searching. I do like to play the one Elemental Hero Honest Neos. This is purely because it's a 50 card version. I don't mind burying a card like this. It's entirely up to you. You can flex it out. There are ways to cut this deck down to like a 45 card engine. I feel that we're kind of in this position with heroes right now that if you want to utilize all of them, you can push them into a 60 card version. A lot of versions are 50 cards that also play a lot of hand traps as well. I decided to minimize the hand traps and just go for more cards that are going to be a little bit more utilized for me, whether that be for field breakers, whether that be for stun cards, which we'll see once we get to the demo side deck. It just gives you a bit of an understanding of everything involved. Then, of course, the one Elemental Hero Neos and the one Elemental Hero Shadow Mist, followed up by the Elemental Hero Liquid Soldier. I still feel that these are all very good utilized cards for this one, especially Shadow Mist, being able to send this from the deck to the grave with either Vion or, of course, when we're by Foolish Burial, or just special summoning it through the deck to get you direct access to your Mask Change. It's just one of them cards you really want to utilize and get the most out of it. Now at this exact moment in time, I'm only really utilizing Mask Change for like 1 or 2 cards in the edge there, mainly Dark Law, which is something you could rely on a little bit less, and of course the Acid if you wanted to deal with back row. So you could cut the Mask Change down if you wanted to. It wouldn't be a big issue on that one, and again, that's how you can kind of push it towards a 45 card deck in this particular version, unless you're going to be playing Blast for your Stratos target. And the reason it is so good is if your opponent uses a targeted effect on Stratos, you can chain Mask Change, tag out your Stratos to allow you to dodge said targeted effect and make sure that Stratos still resolves. Ash Blossom, unfortunately, you won't be able to dodge around, but it still kind of gives you that option. And it's still not a bad issue to hard open up the Mask Change. You just need to be very, very careful that in a format like this, where Malice actually want their cards to be banished, Dark Law is no longer that auto-win card or a floodgate monster. Technically, all hero cards in the form of the Hero Lives, it lets you pay half your life points, especially on an Elemental Hero monster, so you're getting direct access to Shadow Mist, Liquid Soldier, or, of course, Stratos. Then, Hero Poly and Miracle Fusion, followed up by the Favorite Contact, all kind of fall within the Elemental Hero-esque cards. The idea behind all of these is a Hero Live counts as an additional starter. It's the one you want to be starting with because you have to have no monsters, or technically no face-up monsters. So if you wanted to, Book of Eclipse could be quite useful for you. But the idea behind this one is you're paying half your life points. It's going to get you another access to a Stratos, because Stratos isn't a hard once per turn or even a soft once per turn. So once you summon it, you'll then be able to trigger the effect, and then of course once you get another copy of Stratos or revive the same Stratos again, you'll be able to get the effect off again. For the Vision Heroes, pretty standard on this one, of course, we have triple Vision Hero Faris, double Vion, and double Increase. Now, even though this is a 50 card deck, I almost guarantee I'll still open up Increase. You can risk it in a 50 card deck to just play the 1 Increase, but the reason that people are playing 2 Increase is because if you see the first one, it really does stump your Vision Hero combo, which is so important for the deck because it allows you to just get so much more resource to the field and go through the extra deck. And it's one of the cards that you want to hard open up in the form of the Faris if you do see a Stratos, because then that Stratos can be a bait out for an Imperm, Ash, Veiler, you name it. So playing 2 increase, again, another one of the ones that you can sacrifice to get it closer to a 40 card list if you want to. I've just had bad experiences with it. Sometimes I will side out the 1 increase and be like, I only need the 1, and I hard open up the 1 and it completely stumps my combo, which does make it really, really annoying to kind of deal with, but it's entirely down to your own personal preference. For the Destiny Heroes, we are on triple Destiny Hero Malicious. You get to utilize this card 4 times in a turn because of Destiny Hero Denier. And again, because we are going as a 50 card play as much as you can, we go with the 1 Plasma. You search this one out very easily throughout your combo. It's also one of the cards that's going to lead you to a defensive field, because being able to basically have Plasma in rotation can make it very, very tricky. You can play I think it's like D-Time, or the spell card that utilizes Plasma and also searches you out Plasma. I'm personally not playing that card, but you can do very easily if you wanted to. For the other Destiny cards, we are playing 3 Fusion Destiny. Being able to max out on this could be very, very useful. This is one of the ones that once you've baited out Ash Blossom, you feel more free to play this. This will still get you a DPE, or Destiny Enforcer Phoenix, which will allow you to kind of destroy a Destiny Phoenix Enforcer. There we go, get my words the right way around. Which still gives you a form of interruption. Bestials aren't as heavy right now, so being able to utilize a Phoenix Enforcer can still be very, very useful for you. So it really kind of comes down to that, and this is your direct access to it. You do try to make it through getting 2 Destiny Heroes to the field and activating Poly, but if you can actually hold the Poly back and just use Fusion Destiny, you're in a much better position. For the Evil Heroes, we are playing one of the brand new Evil Hero Vicious Claw. So this one allows you to target a hero monster on the field and then special on this card from the hand in defense, and if you do, that monster gains 300 attack. You can only use this effect once per turn, and then if a monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or card effect while this card is in the graveyard, you get to special on this card, and then if you have a monster that mentions Dark Fusion in your graveyard, you get to non-target destroy 1 card on the field. You can only use each effect once per duel. Really kind of cool card. I would love to see this as a full upgrade in the future. You only really need to be playing 1 of it because it's so easily searchable. It is an extender for during your turn, and then of course it can be a bit of a protector if your opponent forgets about its second effect to disrupt your opponent. We're on the 1 Dusted Gold, the 1 Dead End Prison. Still playing the 1 Toxic Bubble Man, but again, this is another one of them cards. If you want to get it down to 40 or 45, you can cut this one out absolutely fine. The 1 Sinister Necron, and then of course the 1 Infernal Rider, backed up by 3 Evil Assaults, 1 Dark Fusion because it's very easily searchable, and of course 1 Dark Contact with the 1 Dark Supremacy. So all of this is pretty standard for the Evil Hero lineup. If you do want to be leaning more into the Evil Heroes, you'll be looking at making it an Evil Hero deck, and you'll be focusing on these cards a lot more. This is, as I mentioned at the start, a hero deck, so it incorporates all of them. Then we have the 1 Super Poly that you can search off the Infernal Rider. Still an incredibly good card to help you break fields, which is really, really important. 1 Reinforcement of the Army, 1 Foolish Burial. And then the cards that I'm using to fill up the 50 card slot is 3 Trill Tactics Thrust and 1 Trill Tactic Talent. Now the reason I've gone with the Thrust is because it gives me more access to get me to cards like Reinforcement of the Army, Foolish Burial, Fusion Destiny. So for going second, it's got some good utilities on there. For going first, it can still get you into your trap cards. So it can still get you to your Dark Supremacy, and it can still get you to your Elemental Hero one, wherever it may be, once I get the big stack of 50 cards back. So if you're trying to go defensive, it can still get you access to Favourite Contact if you've got the materials for it, or of course the Dark Supremacy. So it does give you that balance of first and second. Going second, it can get you to stuff like Hero Lives, which in turn works you to a Stratos, which is a special summon to the field. Then of course you've got Reinforcement of the Army, you've got Foolish Burial, you've got Trill Tactic Talent, so it does give you a bit more of a balance to get you more options should your opponent hit you with a hand trap. Now, some of the hand traps you do need to be very, very careful of this deck is against Draw and Lockbird, because you do want to do a lot of searching, especially with Stratos trying to utilize it more than once a turn. So that's kind of one that you could look at making a 40 card build that plays against it, but then you're only really relying on a crossout and then main decking 1 draw at least, and then of course a Call by the Grave, which isn't always going to be the most consistent. So you just need to be able to find ways, which is why I think Trill Tactic Thrust can come into play, where you can then punish your opponent for drawing you and work into a Dark Supremacy, or still be able to present a field, still be able to utilize a card like Fusion Destiny, and kind of go on from there. Moving on to the extra deck, so for our Evil Heroes, we are playing the 1 Evil Hero Neos Lord. This is your ideal one that you can utilize with Super Polymerization, as it requires Elemental Hero Neos or a fusion monster that mentions it, plus an effect monster on the field. So you're going to get the best of both for that one. We've then got the 1 evil hero Darkest Knight, and a 1 evil hero Malicious Bane. Now you don't need to play Bane, this can be your blast, this can be your flexor into a Trinity if you want to. It just gives you a couple of different options to utilize in an aggressive manner, and it's just one of them nice ones that allows you to kind of clear an entire field and then push through for additional damage. For the final evil hero monster, we're on the Infernal Wing Backfire. So this one must be special on with Dark Fusion, which is quite easy because the Infernal Rider allows you to utilize stuff like Super Repolymerization to make cards like this that can only be summoned via Dark Fusion. If it's special, you get to add a Dark Fusion or a card that mentions it from the deck or grave to the hand, except fusion monsters. If your hero monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you get to inflict 2100 damage to your opponent. So again, could be a very nice additional time con boost. For the Destiny heroes, we're only playing the 1 Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. If you wanted to, of course, you can play more, and that's when you'd be looking at your Dystopia. Dystopia can give you more burn damage, but just to open up the extra deck, I do prefer the evil hero cards in the extra deck. I feel they're a little bit better for the hero strategy over those. For the Masked Heroes, we've got the 1 Darklaw. Like I said, if you wanted to lean into Masked Heroes a little bit more, you'd consider something like Acid or, of course, Blast, but we only really need to utilize the 1 Darklaw. For the Elemental Heroes, we've got the 1 Wingman Infernal Rage, the 1 Shining Neos, the 1 Absolute Zero, and of course the 1 Sunrise. And then your OTK Enabler being your Wake Up Your Elemental Hero. For the Link monsters, we do have the 1 Cross Crusader, the 1 Wonder Driver, Infernal Divisor, and the Dread Decimator. Again, a little bit more flexible. I personally really like Dread Decimator. Some people don't like it, and that's when some people will play a second Cross Crusader, or they may even consider to start playing like Blast and other alternative options. It really is entirely up to you. There's a bit of flexibility in the deck. It kind of comes down to your playstyle and preference, and whether you're going to go for a 60 card version, squeeze it into a 40 card version, you name it. So now onto the edge deck, pretty staple lineup on this, side deck, sorry, pretty staple lineup on this one for your hand traps, Lanciers and Drolls. Of course you could go with Fluoroses or either other Charmies if you wanted to, but I felt in a 50 card deck your consistencies are going to be a little bit less, and I'd much rather play cards that I know will guarantee to skip an opponent's turn. So Mitsurugi Raizel, if I draw them, 99.999% of the time they'll skip it. Whereas with a Flora or a Molchummy, some of them might actually take the challenge. Same with Lancer against Malice, you're going to be outright locking them down, and then rather than like a Molchummy challenge that they may or may not take. For other cards that you're going to be getting off your Trill Tactics Thrust, which is where these cards are going to be coming from, I've gone with Field Breakers in the form of 2 Lightning Storms and a Harpy's Feather Duster. Apologies for the different sleeves, but they're all in different side decks right now for the decks that I will utilising at locals this week. Then, of course, we have the Artifact Sanctum for going first against Malice. We've then got, 2 Artifact Sanctums for going up against Malice, because if you hard open them, it's still going to be quite useful for you. 2 Mischief of the Gnomes to go up against the Mitsu Raizel. And then the last 2 one-offs I've got is the 1 Disrupted Daruma Cannon for the Malice matchup, and the 1 Different Dimension Ground for the Mitsurugi Raizel matchup. So these are just alternative options, so I can put all 3 of these in. I'm already going to have 3 copies in the form of Trill Tactics Thrust that can help me get to these cards as well. And you're basically trying to make sure that if your opponent draws you, you have access to a card that will allow you to turn skip. The reason that I played Destructive Daruma Cannon and Artifact Sanctum is Sanctum can get stopped by Ash, and Daruma Cannon can still cause them a few issues. More times than not, they'll be able to play through this or protect from it, but it's just one of them ones that in some rogue matchups, they might not be expecting it as well. And you could also consider something like a Dimension Barrier instead. You have flexibility, utilize it to your environment as you see fit. You can put in the Molchummies if you wanted to. I feel that if you can get the deck closer to 40 cards, that's when the Molchummy Floros will be more effective for you as a blind go second OTK option. It just gives you a bit more variety depending on what you're trying to achieve. So that's it for the entire profile. This is kind of like how I prefer to play heroes, just because I love kind of incorporating all of them. I love how they all have, within reason, different routes of play as well. Like the evil heroes being dark and mischievous and extenders and accessing your dark fusion monsters. Your Destiny heroes just constantly being able to recycle themselves from the graveyard or constantly keep being able to present themselves to the field. Your vision heroes and of course your elemental heroes being your core centerpiece to keep everything together. And then your vision heroes are going to be your additional extenders to kind of allow you to tick a bit further on as well. But that's it for the entire video. If you do have any questions at all, by all means, please put in the comments down below. I will be more than happy to answer them for you. I can't wait until we get the new hero support. It's really going to make this deck have another different dimension for it as well. And I can't wait to keep experimenting with it. It's one of my favorite decks. Like, I have a deck that is my pure favorite from every single one of the animes. Now, it's kind of bad that my first one is Dark Magician, my second one's Heroes from GX era, and then from 5Ds it's Synchrons. Like, it kind of shows that I like the main characters a bit, but I just love like superheroes. the magicians, and then just huge synchro monsters leading into dragons. So really do like the decks. I love the hero strategy. I can't wait for the new support. Let's see how it does and kind of go from there. For now, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe and of course, happy dueling.